So in example 3, we need to put the equation in standard form, find the asymptotes, and sketch the hyperbola. We're not going to sketch. You won't have to sketch on your test. So first thing we want to do is put it into standard form. So our standard form of a hyperbola is x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. Sometimes our x will go first, sometimes our y will go first. When it gives us an equation like this, we kind of just have to figure out which one has the minus sign in front of it, and that one will go second. So what do you think we have to do to get it into this form? So we want to complete the square. We need to put our x's together. So we're going to start with 4x squared plus 8x. We're going to need to put some number here to help us complete the square. Then I want to put my y's together. I only have negative 3y squared, so nothing else goes there. And then I'm going to move the number to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 16 to my other side. Just get it out of the way. Now what goes in this space here to help me complete the square? 8. Ooh, what do I have to do first? Because I have a number in front of my x squared, so what should I do first? I need to take out the 4. So I'm going to take out the 4, so I have x squared plus 2x. Then I still have to put some number in the space here to help me complete the square. So what's going to go in the parentheses now? 2 over 2. And 2 over 2 is just 1 squared. So then in here, what goes in my parentheses down here? X plus 1. I take this x and this 1 and just put it together. But I just added this to my equation out of nowhere. So whatever I do on the left side, I have to do on the right side. So what am I adding to the left side that I need to add to the right side also? Plus 4, because this is actually 4 times 1. So this is plus 4. So I need to add 4 to the other side too. And then my y term is already squared, so I don't even need to do anything there. So it's just going to be minus 3y squared, and then that's going to be equal to negative 16 plus 4 would be negative 12. Now I need my equation to be equal to 1. So what do I have to do here to get this to be equal to 1?
Divide everything by negative 12.
Divide everything by negative 12. So I want to simplify as much as I can. Here I would have x plus 1 squared over 3, because the 4 and the 12 simplifies to 3. And then plus 3 goes into 12 4 times, so that would be y squared over 4 is equal to 1. Now my x term here is negative, so I want that to come second, so it looks like this here, where I have minus my x or my y. So I want to rewrite this, so my y is going to come first. y squared over 4 minus x plus 1 squared over 3. So because this is negative, I want this to come second. Now I have it in standard form. So what would my center of my circle be? Or my hyperbola? What's the center of my hyperbola? Remember, we have to change the sign, so it would be negative 1, 0. and that comes from here. Change the sign. Y doesn't have anything attached to it, so that's why the y in our center is 0. So that would mean our h is -1 and our k is 0. And then we need to know our a and b because next we are finding the asymptotes. So our equation for our asymptotes is, it's either y is equal to k plus or minus b over a times x minus h. This is on a slide a couple before this one. Or it's going to be y is equal to k plus or minus a over b. Oh no. Okay, so we have a over b and then x minus h. So the only difference is this part here. One of them is b over a, the other one's a over b. The first one here is when we have our hyperbolas are horizontal. The other one is vertical. Looking at our standard form equation here, if y squared comes first, are we going to be horizontal or vertical? We're vertical, so we're going to use this one. So we have our h and k, we just need our a and b. So our a, when we're in hyperbolas, always is the first one. So this is going to be our a squared. So 4 is equal to a. And then b is going to be equal to 3. B squared is equal to 3. So how do we figure out what just our a is? Take the square root. So what's the square root of 4? 2. And then for b squared, we do the same thing. Take the square root. So b is the square root of 3. So once we have our h, k, a, and b, we can plug everything into our equation here. So we have y is equal to, our k is 0, plus or minus a over b, so 2 over square root 3 times x minus h, so that would be plus 1. Can we have square roots in our denominator? Nope. So what do we have to do to get rid of that square root in our denominator? Awesome. Multiply the top and bottom here by square root 3. So we would have 2 square root 3 over 3 times x plus 1. So this is our equation of our asymptote. All right, example 4. We have to find the standard form of the equation of the hyperbola having vertices 3, -5, and 3, 1, and having the asymptotes of these two lines. So first thing we want to do is graph it. Let's see where these two vertices that it gives us puts us and what we can find out once we're there. So we have 3, -5. So go to the right 3, down 5. Put a point there. And 3, 1, so go to the right 3, up 1, put a point there. Once we are here, do we know what our center of our circle is, or our center of a hyperbola? These are 2 vertices. What would our center be?
Going to be 3, -2.
Awesome. We would count how many spaces we have in between here, and our center is right in the middle of our 2 vertices. So from here to here, we go 6 spaces. So in the middle would be just 3 in between. So it would be 3, -2. Perfect. Now we want to write the standard form of our hyperbola. Is our hyperbola vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Vertical. Because our vertices are on a vertical line, it's a vertical hyperbola. So our equation of our standard form is going to be y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared is equal to 1. So we need to find our h, our k, our a, and our b. So right now we have h and k because we have the center. So we can go ahead and plug those in. So in here and in here, I have 3 and 2. Negative 2, so it becomes a plus 2. Now I need to figure out what my a and b are. Looking at my vertices, can I figure out what my a is? Remember, a is the distance from the center to the vertex, or one of the vertex. So what would a be? So a is 3. We don't know what the other distance is, our horizontal one here. We don't know what that is, but we can figure it out. So we're going to have to think about it to find what b is. Since this is a horizontal hyperbola, like we said, we're going to need to use our asymptotes. So our asymptote formula is, for horizontal, y is equal to k plus or minus a over b x minus h. In this equation here, so with the h, k, a, and b, what is our slope of this line? So looking at this, what is our slope? The standard equation of our line would be y is equal to mx plus b, where m is our slope. So whatever is getting multiplied to x is our slope. So here, what is our slope? A over b. So our slope is a over b. Looking at the equations it gives us for our asymptotes here, what is our slope here?
2.
2. So that would mean 2 is equal to a over b. And what's a?
3.
3. So we plug that in and solve for b. So 2 is equal to 3 over b. We can cross multiply to solve for b. So we have 2b is equal to 3. Divide by 2. So b is equal to 3 over 2. And now we can plug in our a and our b. So in our equation we have a squared. So what would a squared be? If a is 3, what's a squared? 9. And if b is 3 over 2, what is b squared?
9 over 4.
9 over 4. Oops. 9 over 4. Now we can't have a fraction and a fraction here, so what should we do for this? Multiply by its reciprocal. So it would be, the first one stays the same, y plus 2 squared over 9, We're multiplying this by its reciprocal, so that would be 4 over 9. So minus, the 4 goes to the top, and the 9 stays on the bottom. And it's equal to 1. That's our answer.